Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and a very special guest. By way of Dallas, Texas, he is in Orlando, Florida to speak at a mortgage conference. This is his first of hundreds speaking engagements he's going to do this year alone. He coaches loan officers and realtors throughout the country. He is a self-professed video marketing therapist. He is the author of Rethink Everything Social Media. He is my friend, Kyle Draper. Kyle, welcome to TLOP, homie.
DL, man. That's an intro.
I told you, hey, look, I told every guest when they sit down, I said, do me a favor, just bear with me. The intro is going to be a little bit obnoxious.
It was a good obnoxious.
Yeah, I try to be good obnoxious. That's kind of like the lane I want to play in a little bit.
And I've been waiting for this for a long time. When we met, well over a year ago,
do you remember that?
I do remember.
So the NBA of Florida brings Kyle in to speak at an event, and the event was in my backyard. And here's kind of like my thing. If it's in my backyard, I better be there.
Yeah.
So I show up, and I'm like, cool, I don't know who Kyle Draper is, but I do love the NBA. I love the network, so I'm there. And he's speaking, y'all, and we're about 15, 20 minutes into it. And by the way, usually my head's in my phone by then, and I'm probably checking emails. I'm checking the weather at whatever next town I'm going to be in. And instead, I'm looking him up on social, and I'm trying to tell this guy who's a stranger, hey, Kyle, my name's Dustin. I had this podcast. It's kind of a big deal. I'd love to have you as a guest. Would you mind coming to my office as soon as you end, and we can quickly record an episode? And we weren't able to make it happen. Yeah, do you remember what your response was?
Well, it was probably something like, my wife and kids are in the hotel across the street, and we're going to Disney World as soon as I walk out of this room.
That was it. And then probably his second thought that he didn't share with me was, I don't know who the hell you are.
That was not the thought.
And that's okay. But you then looked at me, you go, well, can't we do this remote?
Right.
And I was like, nah, man, can't do it remote. You looked at me like I had three heads. I'm like, yeah, it's just kind of like that artist integrity thing. I'm a weirdo, only do our recordings live and in person. However, it's also because I have an awesome co-host. So we only have a guest on probably once every 6 or 8 episodes.
Yeah.
But if there's a guest like you in town, you better believe I'm like, yo, can we plan this out? So here you are.
I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to have you. For time's sake, I'm going to run people kind of through your background.
Okay.
You were a pastor for 10 years.
Yep.
Any particular type of pastor?
Youth pastor.
Youth pastor.
Work with the kids.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're in the people business.
That's right.
You're in the people business, and your product was God.
Yes.
Yeah, salvation.
Yep. That's right. Pimping Jesus
Pimping
to young people.
That.
You know?
I love that. Yeah. I'm going to get a t-shirt.
That's right. Dude, here's what's funny. When I got into the business world, I was like, I suck at sales. I'm not good at this. How am I supposed to do this? And one day somebody said, bro, you're selling Jesus to kids for 10 years. I was like, oh.
What if you had a teacher said,
man, that's
pimping Jesus since 2003? You know? That'd be a great t-shirt.
It would be a good
Someone's
t-shirt.
going to rip us off on that. No, but you did that for a decade.
Yeah.
And then you owned a roofing company.
Yeah.
Do you come from a family of roofers? How did you pick roofing?
So my dad owned a custom homes business in the 80s.
Okay.
So he was in construction. Never had an actual roofing company. And so I had no business being in it. But that's what happened.
Okay.
So,
did you buy a franchise or just start from the ground floor up?
We just started an LLC, fired it up, and went to work.
Were you doing roof repairs or new roofs? Just residential?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah, I mean, mostly re-roofing.
Okay.
Right after storms, and then we did some repairs, and then we moved into commercial and all that good stuff.
You did that in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get to your signature story, but we're fast forwarding for the fans tuning in.
Yeah.
You did that, so you had to figure out how to sell, how to market, how to network.
Yeah.
And then what was your go-to? Like when you were out with your roofing company, what was it that you found yourself doing more of when it came to promoting your brand?
See, like back then, I wouldn't have said that I was promoting anything.
No.
Right? I was, but I was just out there serving people. And I fell into the realtor niche. And so that's how I ended up here is I started doing a bunch of free inspections for realtors before closings to make sure the roof didn't stop the closing from happening. And looked up and was like, all my friends now are realtors. And so that kind of led me to start serving them more.
Yeah, to be a video marketing therapist.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you had your roofing company, you told me a story off camera.
Yeah.
You were in Oklahoma at the time, not in Texas.
Correct. Yep.
So you're in Oklahoma. Hailstorm comes through.
Yeah.
Which we had one last night here in Orlando, actually.
Did you really?
Yep. Tornadoes and everything. It was crazy.
Oh, my gosh.
But hailstorm comes through, and you had something crazy like 100 leads come in the next day.
Yep.
Where your competitors were out door knocking, because that's what happens, by the way. Like, oh, crap, there's a hailstorm. Every sales rep in the roofing industry starts knocking on doors because they're like, look, if you have hail damage, insurance may pay for you to get your roof fixed or maybe even get your roof replaced. You didn't have to go door knocking because of why?
Man, I had been creating video content. The Facebook Live had just come out back then. So I was doing rooftop lives. Who would want to watch that? No one. But I was doing it. And probably a lot like the mortgage people that listen to the podcast, they assume like this isn't going to work, right? You're going to spend all this money, energy, time. And it was kind of one of those things of like, what am I doing? Is what I'm doing working? And then boom, all of that validation showed up in a 24-hour period. And I went, oh my gosh, there's something to this social media thing when we do it right. And that was my big story.
So how long had you been creating video content and posting it on your social media platforms?
Probably 9 months.
Okay. Out of curiosity, why? What prompted you?
I love doing something new.
Okay.
I love innovating. I love seeing a group of people walking that way. And I'm like, why are they walking that way? I'm going to go see what's over here. And I'll go the other way. And so for me, like as I was networking, I just didn't notice a lot of people in roofing being humans on the internet. And so I thought, man, either there's a reason why they're not, and I'll find out, or I'm going to go be the roofer that everybody knows because they see me and my kids and my wife living our lives out online. And praise God, it worked.
Well, correct. And looking back, there is a creative genius behind that. Like you were in an industry that is blue collar. And if you were to try to make a stereotype, you would say most of those guys who own those companies probably turn their nose up at social media.
Oh, 100%.
They make fun of their wife and kids because they're on it too much.
Right.
So why would they ever want to post, let alone hop on a roof and do a day in the life of, or do a report? Hey, this is Kyle coming in from blah, blah, blah. And I'm on top of this roof in this neighborhood. And this is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Yet you're like, I'm a fun guy.
Yeah.
And I like to innovate a little bit because you could have built your website, paid for some Google ads, some SEO, or gone door knocking and kind of done the traditional tried and true.
Right.
And you're like, well, let me try something different.
That's right.
I know a guy who's a multimillionaire. And if you ask him what he does for a living, he will tell you he is in the lead generation website development business. No, homeboy made his millions of dollars in critter control. Not the company critter control, but like pest.
Yeah.
Like raccoons in your attic, squirrels in your walls, dead dog in your pool.
Yeah.
Type stuff.
Rough.
But he was coming out of college, Notre Dame. His degree was in MIS, or like Management Information Systems.
Yeah.
And he went to work for his uncle one summer before going to get his quote unquote real job.
Yeah.
And that was his uncle's business.
Wow.
And here's what he realized. All these dudes and these ladies who own this business, they're small mom and pop.
Yeah.
Most of them word of mouth, or maybe they're running the small ads in the local newspaper.
Yep.
And they're happy doing the jobs they do. He started building out websites and creating content. And that content started attracting eyeballs.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, he's in, let's say, Orlando, Florida, but he's generating leads in Indianapolis, Indiana. He's generating leads in San Jose, California. In literally handshake agreements, just started handing those leads out.
That's awesome.
Now he generates leads in the top 100 markets in our country. And he does it just for basic critter control businesses.
Yeah.
And he's a multimillionaire.
Wow.
All because he was willing to go left, like Kyle was willing to go left when everyone else was going right.
That's right.
That's fantastic. You have a book. Well, hold on. You have two books.
Well,
you have one book,
almost two.
You have one book that's published, and
kind of like
one
1.5 books,
and one book that's being written
that you're in.
I know. Thank you so much for that,
dude.
Yeah, Rethink Everything. And then what are we rethinking on that one?
So
Just a little tease.
Well, I wrote a book called Rethink Everything You Know About Social Media.
Okay.
When I released it, I had this quick vision of what if this could be the new age book for dummies series? Because there's hundreds of finance for dummies, mortgages for dummies, social media for right, everything. And those have been out since we were kids. Nobody's ever tried to come out and be the new age. And so I thought, gosh, Rethink Everything's a cool title. The logo's cool. We could just add a new subtitle. So now next, who knows when this goes live, but soon we will have Rethink Everything You Know About Being a Next Generation Loan Officer.
Awesome. And I got to write a chapter in that because you reached out to me.
100%, man.
Yeah, and our friend Brian View.
Brian View.
Yeah.
We've pulled together, the list keeps growing. I think we're at 37 contributors.
Wow, that's 37 chapters.
37. Mine's 13. So 37 chapters on, Brian and I, we worked tirelessly at what's every little ounce of this industry? What's under the nooks and crannies? What do we put in here for this to be the mortgage Bible? So that on any day you can flip to a page and there's going to be wisdom, knowledge, a story that's going to help you be a better loan officer. And dude, we're like the Avengers. I say we loosely. I'm not. The people we've put in this book. It's the modern day Avengers for the mortgage world.
And
it's going to be incredible.
And what I love about it is you're picking some of the rising stars, the future of the mortgage industry. Yeah. You're picking some of the old school, hey, most people know this person's name. And then you're picking people I think like me, somewhere in the middle, right? I wouldn't say, I'm OG, but I would also like to believe, unfortunately for me, I'm not young enough to be the true future of the mortgage business, but somewhere in the middle where we can bring that together. I love the title, Rethink Everything. Yeah. So I wrote my chapter on leveraging podcasts as a way to create your personal brand. Yeah. And then what I love about what you're doing, and I would have never known to do this myself, you're like, no, then you're going to give me 2 QR codes. Then when the reader, think of a book with pictures. John Coleman, who typically sits in your seat, he only will read a book if it has pictures. Yeah. But I said, John, this book, better than pictures. That's right. You're going to scan a QR code, and then we're going to pop up a video. So I recorded today 2 videos. Yep. John's going to produce them. He'll get them over to you guys by next Friday. Yep. So that way when someone's reading my chapter, then they can scan the QR code, and then it's a video, probably 2 or 3 minutes of me telling a story about what podcasting meant to me or what I learned going through the process of actually launching a podcast and then finally eventually getting somewhat good at it 6-9 months later.
Well, and can I give the audience a quick nugget right here?
Yes.
So for this book, right, every contributor will have a QR code in their chapter. But those QR codes won't be from a place that we wanted, Brian and I. Right, those videos will be stored where you want people to find you.
Yeah, so it'll be on my YouTube channel.
So you guys, your following will grow because of the QR codes. And so for people listening, if you want to grow a YouTube channel, start putting your videos on the YouTube channel and then QR code them in your flyers, in your presentations, so you don't have to go around as a beggar, right? Please, guys, please, follow me. You're just naturally sending them there by way of what you're doing.
Okay, Mark on my team right now. Mark, make sure you're listening. And Mark, luckily he listens. John produces the show, but Mark helps out when it comes to chopping it up, even doing timestamps. Okay. So Mark, we need
stamp it, Mark,
to do a better job. We use QR codes. I'm going to be in Tulsa tomorrow speaking at a big event. I have 100+ loan officers going to be at this event in Tulsa. And I have learned from watching people like you, oh crap, I need to have a QR code. So I now have a QR code in my presentation. Yeah. And we have these postcards that sit on the tables that have a QR code. And each QR code takes you to somewhere different. Yeah. But I don't have a QR code in my email signature. Yes. I don't have a QR code in other things that I'm doing. Yeah. We should start putting QR codes on things so people can scan it to go to your YouTube channel, to go to your link tree 100%. Or whatever the case may be. Well, there we go. There's nugget number 1. I asked Kyle, I said, look, we won't have much time. His flight was delayed. I have a jam-packed schedule of meetings. mostly boring management meetings. I'd rather hang out with you. So
Sure.
maybe, who knows, we'll run long. But that was nugget number 1. I said, Kyle, can you give us at least 3 nuggets?
Yeah.
So teaser, Kyle and Brian View, along with some contributors, I'm one of 37, so I'm not that special.
You're very
I'm
special.
special enough.
Yeah, you are.
Well, I'm special in some special ways. If you ever see me like 2 a.m. at a casino in Vegas, I'm really special.
I want to
Okay?
be on that trip.
It's a fun trip.
That's the one I want.
Yeah, you ever give me a microphone and a karaoke bar and put on a little Too Short, I'm super special.
Oh.
Really special.
Okay.
And also pretty profane. So sometimes if there's virgin ears, I'm like, y'all need to maybe bounce out for about 5 or 10 minutes so I can do my thing. But I'm not that special because I'm one of 37. No, that said, Rethink Everything, and then it's the subtitle is about becoming a modern mortgage loan originator.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I want to talk more about Rethink Everything you thought you knew about social media.
Okay.
Well, when did you write the book?
Uh-huh.
How long did it take you to write the book? But more importantly, if I were to pick up that book today and read it, what am I going to learn?
Yeah. So I wrote that. My wife and I were celebrating our anniversary in Mexico last November. Well, 2 Novembers ago now. And couldn't sleep and literally felt God say, go sit on the balcony and write a book. And I was like, about what? What would anybody want to read a book that I write? And I went on the balcony, wrote the first 4 chapters. And the cool part is everything I wrote came from content I'd already created.
Yep.
Right. Over the last several years.
You're speaking from the heart. You're speaking
Right.
from experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
The gospel according to Kyle.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Almost called you
And
Kevin.
well, my brother's name's Kevin, so I've been called Kevin my whole life.
Oh, there we
So
go.
I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. But so wrote 4 chapters in Mexico, came home, and in about 3 weeks wrote the other 9. And so November we started it, and April 1st we published it. So it was very fast. And man, it's 99 pages. It has pictures. John will love it, but it also has QR codes. And I really just wanted to have zero fluff, right? Most books we read, we could probably get rid of 2/3 of the pages because they're just random stories, and the meat is in what's left. And so my book is all meat. It is a carnivore book. There's no salad in there. There's no veggies.
It's the Atkins diet.
It is everything you need for that sustenance. And the biggest thing, Dustin, for me, like if you pick up the book and read it, the underlying tone is going to be of you are already enough to be out there. Like we can look around and we can look at the different players in our space that are doing it bigger than we are. And the reality is like that's not where they started. And my people don't know them anyway. So if I'll just go be present, go get in front of the camera, start telling stories, start sending birthday videos, you're going to win more often because it hits our brain different when people can see us, hear us, feel us, experience us. And that's what doing this with all these cameras, it's the opportunity it gives us. And so that's really just do it. Now, if Nike's listening, that's not my slogan, right? Phil Knight, leave me alone. But that's the theme.
Okay, so it's 99 pages of the meat.
Yep.
It's funny. I said Atkins diet. Talk about dating ourselves. Let's call it paleo. Okay, it's
That's
the
right.
paleo diet for people who are maybe overthinking it.
100%.
When it comes to their personal brand.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to creating video content.
Yep.
And then posting that video content out for the world. And really, it's not the world. It's your audience.
Right.
It's the people that you want to attract, the people you
Right.
want to stay in front of to listen to.
Yeah.
Hence, Rethink.
That's
You
it.
know, it's interesting. I just listened to Jen. I'm gonna butcher her last name, but Gottlieb, I think.
Yeah.
So Jen Gottlieb was interviewed by, Ed Milet recently,
Okay.
and she said something, and I'm a swiper and adapter. Like I'm not smart enough to
No.
come up with shit on my own.
Yeah.
But I am pretty good at hearing you say something, having it resonate with me,
Yep.
and then I can regurgitate it.
That's right.
So I've spent a career listening to other people who are more successful, starting with top producers in my office.
Yeah.
How did they talk to realtors? How did they talk to borrowers? How did they explain that document? All the way to now, if you look at the public speaking circuit, right? I've swiped and adapted from Tim Davis. I swiped and adapted from Renee Rodriguez, right?
Yeah.
I swiped and adapt from you. And now I'm going to swipe and adapt from Jen. And I don't know Jen, right?
Yeah.
She's a who's who supposedly.
Yeah.
And she has a great story to tell, but it was this. And you said something that just made me think of it. She said, quit comparing yourself to people who are in chapter 20 when you're on chapter 1.
So good.
We all have a book that we're writing.
That's it, man.
And it's not that you won't get to chapter 20, but you can't compare yourself to chapter 20. And by the way, if your book is 9 chapters and my book is 30 chapters, be grateful for your 9-chapter book.
Yeah.
Because you're living your life. You're not living my life. Right?
Right.
And so many times I think we get caught up in the, oh, well, if I can't be as good as Neil Dingra, I'm not going to produce social
Right.
media content.
Yep.
Right? If I can't get to 100,000 followers and you teach
Yeah.
something a lot different than that.
Yeah.
Will you go into that? Like, I know what you teach because I've had the luxury
Yeah.
of being at an event where Kyle Draper speaks.
Yeah.
By the way, you should look at putting yourself in a room where Kyle Draper speaks, either by going to wherever he's going to be next or just calling up his agency saying, hey, how do we get Kyle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
By the way, loan officers and mortgage companies, you could bring him in
Whoa.
and have him speak to hundreds of your realtors.
That's right.
How cool would that be? You as loan officers will learn from Kyle, but your realtors will learn as well.
Are you ready for this?
Go for it.
My favorite speaking day is when a mortgage company brings me in, and in the morning I train the LOs separate from their realtor partners so we can get down and dirty. Then we serve lunch and invite their realtor partners to come, and then we do an afternoon session for them.
Love it.
And it's killer. So
Love it. Okay, so that was a sidebar. Kyle did
so-
not know I was going to do that. But no, will you kind of get into your thoughts and your experiences
yeah,
with not needing to go viral, with not needing to have
yeah.
10 or 20,000 followers?
It's ego, right? Ego says, well, I've got to go viral. Well, why do you need to go viral? Well, because I want to be validated. Well, why do you need to be validated? Right? Like, it all comes back to what is your source that your confidence comes from? And most people are walking insecurities. We all are to some degree. And so we look at social media as a way for us to be constantly validated. So I was speaking to 100+ mortgage lenders and realtors yesterday, and I gave them 2 questions. What do you get asked the most about mortgage? And what are you surprised that people don't already know? Because how often are you meeting with somebody and you say something and they go, whoa, Dustin, what? I should know that. But what is that? That should trigger an alarm that says, I need to do a video about that. If they don't understand that phrase, I need to put something out there. But then our ego says, but dude, that's not sexy. You could do a video about earnest money. That's not sexy. That's not going to go viral. That's not going to get 200 million views. And so then we don't do it. And so for me, it comes down to, can we remove ego enough to make it more about what do the people need that we're serving? And if I can stay focused on what you need, whether that video gets 10 views, the next one gets 40, the next one gets 75, those are the right people paying attention. And I'll take less of the right people than more of the wrong people every day.
I mean, I look at your social media following. You're
It's
not crushing
big.
it.
No.
Yeah, but you know what? How many speaking engagements do you think you'll have this year?
Over 100.
Do you speak for free?
No.
Yeah. There you
I
go.
do not.
There you go,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
people keep calling you back.
Yeah.
I listen to you speak. I'm critical of speakers.
Yeah.
Right? You probably noticed of yourself. You start doing something for a living and
Yeah.
it becomes very close to you.
Yeah.
And you have the ability to give probably positive feedback that other people don't see. Because
Right.
you know what they're doing is that hard.
Right.
But you also have the ability to be more critical.
Yeah.
Someone else said that was great. And others are like, and the people like us are like, that was good.
Yeah.
So I got to listen to you. I'm like, yeah, that dude's great. Like, I want more of him.
Yeah.
Hence reaching out to you right away. I would love, this is for another time. I do this
I got to
thing-
come to Orlando again? Is that what you're
maybe,
saying?
Maybe not. I may be coming to Dallas sometime
Okay.
soon.
Okay, good.
Yeah, between you, between the nerd, we have a massive following out of the DFW.
Oh, good.
I think we could do our own event in
Come
Dallas. Right? I could speak, you could speak, Denise Donahue could speak,
Yes.
we'd crush it.
I love
Right?
it.
Like a half-day LO event, get a couple
Yeah.
sponsors to put it together.
Yeah.
I'm not that expensive. Literally, like, get my flight, get my hotel,
Yeah.
maybe buy me a couple drinks at Billy Bob's. Like, literally right now, because I'm still spreading the love of, hey, we have this podcast and we're just getting started.
Yeah.
And the podcast has allowed me to launch this loan officer training development community.
Yeah.
And when I get to speak, I get to point people towards this community
Right.
where it's like, look, we can help you become less of a mess.
Yeah.
Don't go at this alone. Look for others that are doing what you do at a higher level, and let's learn from them. So it's me. I have 5 faculty members. All of us are top producers within the industry, and we're teaching our best practices, and we're doing so at a cost that is literally rock bottom.
It's awesome.
Yeah, because it's like, to me, we're trying to touch more people.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to make money, but we don't need to make gobs of money on one person. I'd rather help more and have everyone contribute something that is a fair amount.
Yeah.
But here's something that we do. We do this for the entire community, not just those that pay us. I like to every single month do something we call a TLOP exclusive. It's funny we call it exclusive because it's exclusive to anyone who listens to the show, anyone who follows me on social, anyone who gets our newsletter.
Yeah.
But we bring in someone who's not part of the faculty, but they're a friend of mine who know a thing or two, and we ask them to do a 1-hour webinar for our people. Do you think I could convince you to donate an hour of your time to my community? Yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Let's think about doing it. We have one coming up on January 19th.
Okay.
Dr. Christy McMullen, who is phenomenal. She teaches people how to sell and storytell better.
Oh.
She's an ex-educator, by the way.
Okay.
Now her job today, besides writing her books and teaching her classes, is actually teaching teachers how to become better teachers.
Wow.
But now we have her teaching sales professionals in mortgage and real estate how to take the same lessons she's giving to educators. It applies to sales professionals.
Yeah.
We have to pitch, we have to present. So we're doing that in January, but if I could get you February or March, and we could do something around your book, something about your presentations, that'd be phenomenal.
I'm in.
All right. A couple more nuggets that we can give to the audience. Like when tease them when they read your book, when they listen to you speak.
Yeah.
We've already given them the QR code. Thought that was a great that's a great gimme, great freebie.
Yeah.
You've already suggested, you and I together, y'all don't need to go viral.
Yeah.
Right? You don't let your ego get in the way. You need to create video content. You need to post.
Yeah.
But as Kyle said, he'd rather have less of the right audience than more of the wrong audience.
Right.
That's a life lesson. That's something I can take down today. What are 1 or 2 things that they're going to learn from the book or from listening to you speak?
Man, I think the biggest thing that we're missing right now is the one-to-one video interaction.
Okay.
So think about in a traditional transaction for a lender, if you're working with a family, you're going to deal probably with one spouse most of the time. So you're my lender, and so you're working with the Drapers. You're going to always talk to me, and then I'm going to pass whatever we talk about onto my wife, right? And so if that's how all the transactions are done, well, you give me this update. I get home. I say, honey, guess what? Dustin called. Well, what'd Dustin say? He said, we're good. They got the paperwork they need. Well, what else did they say? What? I mean, that's basically what he said. Well, how long were y'all on the phone? I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. In 15 minutes, all he said was that you're good. Right? You see where this is going? And now I'm being interrogated, and I make you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a great regurgitator of what you're the expert of.
It's the telephone game from when we were
kids.
Yes.
And so I don't think most LOs realize that they are ruining half of their referral opportunities by not being more top of mind to the other spouse involved in the transaction.
So is it as simple as recording my conversation with you, handing you that recording so that you can play it back for yourself and your spouse?
I think it's even more. I think it's even more simple. I think it's like we probably didn't need the 15 minutes on the phone. You needed 45 seconds of me to really tell me what was up. So I would have just recorded a video. Drapers, DO, here's where we are. We just got this. We're waiting on that. We're still looking to close in 3 weeks. Hi, Harrison. Hi, Everly. Hi, baby Ruby. Talk to you guys soon. Now I get to take that home, show it to my family, and now at the closing table, my wife doesn't think you're a moron that shouldn't have been paid anything because she doesn't understand what you do. Now she has clarity on what you do, and she knows a whole group of people that I don't know to be a future referral source for you.
I love it. I love it.
And so some of these videos can be evergreen, right? They're always good. We don't say names. We don't say dates because there's steps in the process that are the same 100 times over. And then there's 3 or 4 other videos that you just know from now on, I'm going to record them per client so I can say their name. Dude, you are a celebrity to those people by the end of that transaction.
Man.
And that, I think, people are like, I don't want to do a podcast. I don't want to do reels. I don't want to. Just do one-to-one video in your processes and watch it change the game.
Status updates. Wow.
That's it.
Sending out your pre-approval letters, your documents need list, your clear to close,
Yes.
your reminder for homestead exemption. All of that.
All of it.
The importance of getting your homeowner's insurance bound.
That's it.
All of that.
And you've got 3 tracks as the LO. You've got the buyer track, but then you should be doing these videos for the seller's agent and the listing agent.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Or sorry, the sellers and the buyers, right? I said the same one. And now you get to the end of that transaction, that seller's agent is like, who is this lender? And why have I not worked with them? I have never been communicated like that.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. Literally your video marketing therapist.
That's it.
Right. Okay, give me one more quick one. One more quick one. Tease us.
You don't need more people.
Okay. I like that. You don't need more people.
Yeah.
Is that because I need to get deeper with the people I have?
100%.
Yeah.
Right. Most audiences of LOs are white noise, because all an LO knows how to talk about on social media is their products. Hey, check me out at a lunch and learn. Here I am at a closing. They're not adding any value to their people. So I think deep down inside, they've decided I need new people because I've kind of ruined the ones that I've got. But if you just go start adding value to those people, there's so many deals sitting out there from the pipeline you already have. You've just been taught that in the social media game, it's about lead generation, but I'm fighting for lead preservation because we already have enough people. We just got to be in front of them more often.
They need to take those people to Easter service because
That's
it's all
right.
about the resurrection.
Dude,
They
come
need
on.
to resurrect the people they do have.
Come on.
I love
Get
that.
a Jesus joke in at the
Oh,
end. I love it.
Yes, just for you, sir.
Dude,
Just for
incredible.
All right, so check this out. I've already teased. We have Dr. Christy McMullen on January 19th. Head over to tloponline.com if you want to register. That is a free event for anyone who tunes into the show, follows us on social, or gets our newsletter. If you're not getting our newsletter, you're missing out because it's free.
Yeah.
You can go back to the website, tloponline.com. By the way, TLOP stands for, do you know what it stands for?
The
Loan Officer Podcast.
There it
TLOP,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
One of our first fans, a guy named Tom O'Brien, shout out to Tom. He started calling us TLOP early on.
Oh.
Called himself a TLOPper, and I loved it. Because I
love
don't
it.
love the name of the show.
Yeah.
So our website is actually TLOP Online, and that's a website that we built strictly to support
good.
the future of the mortgage industry. So if you're a lender and you're tuning in and you want our newsletter, you go to TLOP Online and you can subscribe for free. If you're a lender and you're tuning in, heck, if you're a realtor and you're tuning in and you want to hear Kyle when we have him on for our next TLOP exclusive,
Yeah.
my team will work with Kyle's team. We'll make that happen. You will register on TLOP Online, but we do have another TLOP exclusive on the 19th of January. So that's with Dr. Christy McMullen, and she's going to come on. She was a guest on the show about, I guess a month ago. She was recommended to me through a friend of a friend, and like you and I hit it off with her. I'm like, girlfriend, I go, we are going to be inseparable going forward from a professional level, whether you like it or not.
I can't wait to
I'm going
meet
to
her.
find a way. Yeah, she's great, and I hope you and I can continue this relationship.
Absolutely.
And we can maybe have you back on. Maybe we have some more time. Today was about putting a spotlight on you.
Yeah.
I want people to know who you are. I want people to follow you. So if people are looking to follow you, what's the best way to follow you?
I am Coach Kyle Draper everywhere on social.
Coach Kyle Draper, and Draper is Draper.
That's it.
Coach Kyle Draper.
Yep.
Kyle, thank you so much for all of your time today. Enjoy
Honor.
Orlando. Good luck at this event.
Thank
I
you.
hope next year if they have this event, maybe yours truly can either participate or at a minimum I should be a guest.
That's
I
right.
didn't know about the event until it's too late, and I'd already booked my my gig up in Oklahoma. But nonetheless, Oklahoma, we're coming for you. Actually, by the time this drops, I'll already be back
You'll have
from
already
Oklahoma.
dominated in
I've already
Oklahoma.
kicked ass in Oklahoma,
That's right.
come back to Orlando. But so how about this, Oklahoma? Thanks for hosting. It was a great event.
Come on.
Fingers crossed. No, he's Coach Kyle Draper. I'm Dustin Owen. You've just tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.